Hello everybody, what is up? Dragon Knight Gaming here, and today I'm bringing you another... Actually, no. This is the first deck list I've made on this profile. And I purposely delayed this one on the Neglected Gamers channel, as well as this one, for the sole reason that I knew that this was going to happen. I knew that Star-Vader was going to get some new support ever since Noah was defried in the anime. Links below if you want to watch the anime, you totally should, it's really cool. But anyway, we're going to move straight on to the deck list of the new and improved Star-Vader clan. So the first one you want to have is your main grade 0, and I usually go for Plank Dragon, whatever you want to call him, or Carbon. However, I do favor Plank Dragon since it's like a free stride at the cost of a counterblast, and you get to lock something, even if you don't add something to your hand. Next, you want 4 Margot clones, simply because this deck basically needs a soul, like a lot of decks now. So enjoy that. Next, you can have Paradigm Shift Dragon. It's a free lock a unit in the back row. I'm sorry, guys. Free lock in the back row, and you get a crit back in the deck. So always good. Any critical trigger, really? Heal trigger, Jesus. So if we look at heal triggers with Star-Vader in the name, probably either... Really, my favorite is Pixie Powder, even though Aether Looper is so fucking adorable, to put it bluntly. And then you can go for either stand trigger or a critical trigger. However, I do, of course, favor the critical trigger, since really there's not a lot to stand for. But I can see the advantage in it. Sorry, guys, I'm really tired today, can't think of the words, but anyway, we're gonna continue. You know how you had to run Barrier Star-Vader Prometheum? Not anymore. Now we have Ironclad Star-Vader Thorium, which has a better ability now. If there are 3 locked units on the if your opponent has 3 locked units, you just draw a card. Cool. Moving on, it's your new stride fodder for the Star-Vader clan. If you have a Vanguard with Star-Vader, while you're paying the cost for a stride with Star-Vader in its name, it gets grade plus. It's counted as a grade 3. And when it's used as a cost for stride, if you Soul Blast, look at 7 cards in the deck and add a Chaos to your hand, which is another stride for the next turn. So really, there's no reason not to run it. Obviously, you still want Confusion Star-Vader Zinc in this deck, because this deck still needs Counter Charge, and Soul Charge support. Because you're going to be doing a lot of it, trust me. Next, 3 Metanax Dragons. If your opponent has 2 or more locked units, add 4,000 when it boosts, and if it hits, choose one of your opponent's units. Choose one of your opponent's units and Omega lock it. Jesus, guys, I'm sorry. Use this to lock something really important that you don't want unlocked. Next, I like to run 3 Mobius Breath Dragons, either for stride fodder or for the first ride, if I'm so lucky to have gotten it. However, you can replace it with 3 Colony Makers, which would probably be better advised. In fact, we're going to do that, actually. 4 Star-Vader Strange Dragons, or 3. You can run 3, actually. Yeah, probably better just to run 3. When it's placed on rear guard, when you attack the Vanguard, add 5,000 to the... No, your opponent chooses one of their rear guards and locks it. If they can't lock one of their rear guards, then add 5,000 power to Strange Dragon. So it's basically a first turn 21k attacker if your opponent's entire field is locked. Next, 3 Disorder Star-Vader Irons. If you have Chaos Vanguard, add 2,000 to the power when it attacks. So it's 11k on its own, which is great for a first attack. But when it's placed on rear guards and your opponent has a locked card, choose up to one of your opponent's units and lock it. You're going to see a theme here, counting on it. I don't really know a lot about the new Star-Vader, so I can't really decide anything based on what I've seen. However, for the last two, I would go for either Niobiu, which gets 2,000 every time something is locked, or Companion Star-Vader Photon, which is what I'm going to go for, because when it's placed on rear guard, lock something. Finally, you're moving on to the grade 3s. Obviously, your new Strider, Star-Vader, Chaos Breaker Crisis. Counterblast the Star-Vader. When it's placed on Vanguard, or when a G unit with Star-Vader is strode, your opponent chooses one of their rear guards and locks it. And when an opponent's locked card is unlocked, if no unit was retired with this unit's effect this turn, retire one unit and draw a card. Basically, Chaos Breaker Dragon's limit break, except you don't need to Soul Blast. And this is once per turn, so, you know. You can either run Infinite Star-Vader or Chaos Breaker Dragon, and the G-Zone will change depending on how you answer. However, I am going to answer Chaos Breaker Dragon. Moving on. 4 Glue Ball Dragons, because Soul Blast, Unflip, lock the same number of cards in your G-Zone, and GB3, all units with Star-Vader get plus 3,000. This is probably going to be your first stride, which is why you want 4 of them. Take 4 Chaos Deluge, Soul Blast, flip something up, discard a card. If you have a Heart with Chaos, your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hands and puts them down as locked. Then, if your opponent has 4 or less damage, choose one of your opponent's lock cards and puts them into the damage zone. So, not really sure how to think about this. It's basically screwing over a lot, basically. I don't know how to explain it, but we're going to move on. 2 Chaos Universes, simply because your opponent puts something down as locked, and then if you have 2 or more face up, lock one of your opponent. Or you can get rid of 2 Deluge, or just 1, and do that. Or, yeah, or you could ditch a Deluge and go for a Ortho Wilder, which is your GB8, which is Counterblast, drop 2 cards. For every card in your opponent's damage zone, your opponent chooses a card from their hands, puts it down as locked. Or that's for open rear guard. So it's really good against Spike Brothers and stuff that's sending their own stuff to the hand or bottom of the deck. Bermuda Triangle, Spike Brothers, all that. You're going to want that. However, we are at a slight disadvantage with our G-Zone if we do want the GB8. And once the Zeroth Dragons come out, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of stuff about that. Regardless, thinking about it, what you could do is get rid of 2 Glue Ball Dragons, go into Deluge, and add a Sea Breeze. And that's when... God, I'm losing my voice now. Alright, so, now with this setup, you are going to want to stride into Sea Breeze first. Because if not, you're going to waste Glue Ball Dragon's GB3, and you're not going to have the stuff to pay anybody else's price. So really, Sea Breeze is going to be your first stride, really no matter what, unless you can G-Guard on your first turn. Speaking of which, we're going to go into Close Rip Glean Lady Healer, which is Soul Blast. At 5,000 to shield, you won't have a Messiah Vanguard. You're going to have a Cyber Dragon Vanguard. So the other effect isn't that useful. However, we use it just to get what we need done. Demon Maxwell, of course. That's an idea. Alright. Add a Destiny Guardian too, because if you can unlock 2 units, add 10,000 to shield, and then activate Chaos Breaker Dragon skill to retire one of the cards that was just unlocked and draw a card, which gives you more defense. So, which is really good. Obviously, you want a Dismal in this deck to protect your rear guards. There are many ways you could alter the G-Zone. Honestly, you probably will want to alter the G-Zone a lot, because thinking about it, do we need Nebula Crunch Dragon? Yes, you will want Nebula Crunch Dragon to Omega Lock something and force your opponent to call something. That's going to be a given. So really, you're going to want Nebula Dragon. You could go without Chaos Universe, however, I don't recommend it. But this looks good so far. Yeah. This should be fine. Alright. Well, guys, that is all for this deck list. Remember, you can change the deck list however you want. You can alter it to fit your playstyle, especially the G-Zone. Please, if anybody has any better ideas for the G-Zone, please comment them down below, because I can't think of any. But anyway, that is all. Dragon Knight Gamer signing off. Bye.